We were sitting in the middle of the bus, David, Jacob, and I, Nancy recalled. I was looking out the window, chatting with Jacob about Christmas gifts. He was excited about getting a new bike. The sun was shining, the road was busy, but everything felt normal. I noticed the bus slowing down, and I thought maybe there was traffic ahead. But then everything changed in a split second. The windows suddenly turned white, like someone had thrown a sheet over the bus. I couldn't see anything, not even the trees along the road. The driver muttered something about the weather, but his voice sounded tense. Then came a deafening crash. The bus jolted so hard I hit my head on the seat in front of me. Jacob screamed, and David grabbed us both, trying to keep us steady. I heard the screech of metal and another impact. Something heavy, a truck, slammed into us from behind. The windows cracked, and I smelled gasoline. Someone in the bus yelled, "God, we're burning," and panic broke out. People were standing, pushing, trying to get to the exit. I looked at Jacob. His eyes were wide with terror, and he was gripping my arm so hard it hurt. The fog was so thick that the headlights and even flames outside looked like dim spots. I heard cars crashing, boom, 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 one after another, like explosions in a war. People were screaming in pain, calling for help. I tried to breathe, but the air was heavy with smoke and a chemical smell. The driver shouted for us to stay seated, but then another crash hit, and I knew we had to get out. David and I grabbed Jacob and pushed toward the emergency exit. The door was jammed, but a man in front of us forced it open with his shoulder. We stumbled out into the cold, damp fog. It felt sticky, like it was clinging to my skin. Visibility was zero. I could only see silhouettes of people running in all directions. We walked, tripping over the shoulder, holding hands. I heard a fire crackling nearby and the hiss of burning fuel. Someone was screaming, "Help! I'm stuck!" That voice still haunts me. I saw shapes on the ground, some moving, some not. One man, covered in blood, was crawling across the asphalt, leaving a trail behind him. We'd gone maybe 20 steps from the bus when I heard an explosion, probably a fuel tank. I turned and saw an orange glow piercing the fog. Jacob was crying, and I tried to calm him, but I was shaking myself. David said, "We've got to keep moving, Nancy. Stay with me." We kept walking until we ran into a police officer shouting for people to get off the road. Only then did I realize my hands were bloody. I'd cut myself on glass, but hadn't even noticed. The fog started thinning after about 30 minutes, and I saw the scale of it. Cars crumpled like accordions, trucks flipped on their sides, bodies on the pavement. I covered Jacob's eyes so he wouldn't see it. We waited for paramedics on the shoulder. I could hear sirens, but these sounded distant, like the fog was muffling everything. When the medics took us, I was in shock. I couldn't speak, just held on to Jacob. Later, they told us our bus was in the middle of the pileup, and we were lucky it didn't catch fire. But I didn't feel lucky. I'd seen too much. Aftermath for Nancy, David, and Jacob survived, but Nancy suffered a concussion and cuts, while David had bruises. Jacob escaped with minor scrapes but was deeply traumatized. The Albrecht family joined other victims in a lawsuit against the Bowater paper mill, blaming its emissions for the fog. However, the National Transportation Safety Board's 1991 report couldn't pinpoint the fog as exact cause, citing possible factors like mill runoff, river vapors, and weather conditions. Nancy later shared that she suffered nightmares, reliving the screams and fire in the fog. She underwent therapy for 10 years to cope with PTSD. Jacob, who was 34 in 2010, said he still avoids driving on I-75 during foggy conditions.